Hi there, this is Reid. This is Reid Yobe. Reid Yobe. I'm back with part 2. Part 2 of what happens when a man falls in love. This is part 2 of what happens when men fall in love. If you haven't watched my first video about what happens when a man falls in love, I suggest that you watch that one before you watch this one. In part 1, I was talking about what happens to us as men, or rather, let me say, majority of us, what happens when we fall in love. And if you listen to that video, if you watch that video, you can actually tell that whatever happens to us, it does not help us in any way. Yet we have got something that we desire to achieve. All men want to be successful in their efforts to find love. We want to be successful. We want to find the right person. The right person that we can spend the rest of our lives with. But like I said, if you watched part 1, you'd find that what I spoke about in my first video, it does not in any way help us. And they say insanity is doing the same thing and expect a different outcome. Insanity is doing one and the same thing over and over again and expect a different outcome. I said in my first video, just to summarize it in a nutshell, that when a man sees a woman, he creates a picture in his own head of the kind of a person he thinks she is. But this picture may or may not be close to reality. This is just an assumption that a person makes. You just see someone and you judge and you create a picture in your own head based on what you have just seen. But I said it's actually wrong. And I was focusing more on ladies as I was talking to the ladies for them to be very careful and not be quick to believe what a man says. Not necessarily because men lie, but it's a confusion that men have. It's like a nature of us as men, all right? Because when you actually, majority of men are ignorant of that fact. So it just happens. You look at somebody and then you create a picture in your own head of the kind of a person that you think she is. And you make it a reality in your own head. But then when you start dating the person, or when you already married to the person, then you discover that the picture that you had in your head does not in any way exist. So you fell in love with the wrong person. You fell in love with a person that doesn't exist. So it's just a weakness from a man's point of view that you just make the wrong assumption. And that's why in the end, the man is disappointed, because what he sees now, when he's now face to face with the reality, is not what he wanted in the first place. Is not what he fell in love with. So I was just saying this as I was talking to the ladies, asking them to be very careful and giving them some instructions on how to help the other person to get to the root of his problem by asking questions, so that they may try and figure out exactly what picture is that. What picture does this person have in their own head? So that once you get the picture, if you realize that you're not what the person thinks you are, and if you love the person and think that you can make adjustments, then you make adjustments before they figure out that the picture that they have in their head doesn't exist. You make adjustments, so by the time they come to realize the truth, they'll figure out that you already are what they were seeing in their own head, as far as the picture that they had created in their own head was concerned. Because the reason I was focusing on the ladies, I was just trying to help them. Because in the end, there are people who lie, but some of them, they don't lie. It's just that they just fell in love with a person that didn't exist. And when they are now face to face with the person that is existing and realize that it's not the one that they loved, they kind of like back off. That's when the woman starts saying some changes to say, what's going on with this guy? He is changing. And it might feel like maybe the guy is cheating, when in actual fact, it's not cheating. The person is not cheating. The person is not cheating, but the person is just disappointed. But can they blame the woman? No. The blame can only be on the man, because he is the one who created a picture in their own head, instead of trying to figure out the truth, to see if the person meets their requirements. So I'm coming back again now, and this video is more focused on men. I am focusing more on men to try and help them out. And what I have to say to all the men is that you need to ask yourself some serious questions when you see a woman. Don't be too quick to believe what is in your own head. Try to find out the truth. Try to know the person. Give yourself some time before you commit. Because what you see may not be a representation of what you think. Because you may look at a picture, you may look at a person, and what you see, according to you as a man, might mean something. Just to give you an example, because you saw someone wearing a particular dress, maybe it's a long, loose dress, then that might mean something to you as far as that particular person's character is concerned. Don't let that lead you to the conclusion as to what the kind of a person she is. Try to find out the truth. They say looks are deceiving. What you see may not be a representation of what you are looking for. You may hear someone else talking, and then you make use of whatever that they were saying to judge the kind of a person they are. That is wrong again. Try to find out the truth. That's why I say there is nothing, I don't believe there is such a thing as love at first sight. This is just me. I don't think there is such a thing. Well, infatuation at first sight is possible, but I'm talking about love. Because there is more to love. Give yourself some time to learn and to know the person, their values, their principles, the character of the person. We are men and we are much more concerned about the facts. And I'm talking to the men. We all are concerned about the facts. Try to find out the facts first and know who this person is before you commit yourself to them. Once you know that this person is, once you know the person, then you can make a decision to say, is she the kind of a person that I want? Get the facts. That's what I'm trying to say in other words. Get the facts. Don't create pictures in your own head. Don't create pictures in your own head. You can't just by mere looking at a person know whether or not they are good. You can't just by mere looking at a person or listening to someone else talk know who the kind of a person they are. There is a lot more that you need. You need to get close to the person. You need to watch them for some time before you can get to know who they really are. So I say to all the men, take your time. You can be a friend. You can be a friend. And this also serves heartbreaks. It will prevent you from committing to the wrong person. Because when you're friends with somebody, friendship allows you to get close to someone enough to know them without being romantically involved. That's why I recommend friendship. Because in the end, you serve heartbreaks. Well, some people think that maybe they should date someone before they can make a decision. But I suggest friendship. There is a lot that I got to learn about people just by being as close as their friends. I learned a lot. There are a lot of people that at one time I would think it would be best if I could go out with them and have a relationship with them. And there are people that I would see and because of that nature create pictures in my own head to say, wow, that's wife material, just by mere looking at the person. But then I say to myself, let me get closer to this person. Let me try to be their friends. But 2 weeks or months down the line, I'm like, no. I was wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong about what I thought about this person. And they don't even know that I was actually at a certain point wishing they were my wife. You see? But then we remain friends. No heartbreaks involved. So this is what I'm saying to all the guys out there. Please, guys, let's try to learn some more skills and be aware also of our weakness as men. This nature of ours, which makes us to create pictures in our own heads whenever we see women and judge them. And not just judge them, but judge them incorrectly. Because whenever you judge a person, whenever you make conclusion about someone's character, values and principles without getting to know them, then you're just being unfair to them. So I think it's best for us as men to learn something. Let's discard this nature of ours and try to learn some new skills. Let's not appear like we are desperate. I know how it feels sometimes when you see somebody and you want them, like really want them. You feel like I have to tell them now. I can't waste any more time. But I suggest that you get the facts, or even try to be friends with somebody. That can also help. I suggest friendship. You really need to take your time, brothers. You really need to take your time, dear brothers. The marriage is for life. Marriage is for life. Can you imagine a house, building a house that you're going to stay, you and your family, right? Something that you gonna even leave for your children and grandchildren as a legacy, all right? Do you think it's something that you just plan in a matter of seconds? There's a lot of planning that has to go into that. There's a lot that you need to think about. There is a lot that you need to do as far as planning is concerned. And I want us to look at this in the same manner. I'm just talking about what we just discussing here, or what I'm talking, or rather what I'm sharing with you right now. Give yourself some time. You want somebody that you're gonna spend the rest of your life with. You want someone that you are going to build a life with. Guys, it's not something that you just walk into a supermarket and then you see someone in the aisle. You look at them and then you make a conclusion to say, this is the person that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. You approach them after creating a picture in your own head. Yeah, probably maybe if they say yes, and then the next step that you take is straight to the altar. And now, guys, let's not do that. Let's take our time. Let's take our time. This is important. That's all I have to share with you as far as this part 2 of what happens when a man falls in love is concerned. I promised that I was gonna bring you part 2. This is it. It's here. And thank you very much for your time. Once again, this is Reed Yobe. Thank you.